Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. I am delighted as always to be joined by Gareth A Davies. Gareth, we're here in New York, the middle of New York City. It's my first trip to New York. I'm very excited. Thanks for joining us. Huge fight week. Josh Taylor, Teofimo Lopez. You've been at the heart of it. You've been in the build-up. We've seen it across all the top-ranked footage. What do you make of this fight? It's a good fight for boxing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. There's neither of these two comes into this fight with. Well, let me put it the other way. Both of these men come into this fight with an awful lot to lose and a lot to prove as well because of what's happened in the last year and a half. Teofimo Lopez, of course, riding high after his victory over Vasyl Lomachenko, the number one in the lightweight division, if you like, for a certain time. Josh Taylor, the number one in the super lightweight division, universally ransacked because of the judges with the Jack Catterall fight. So both of them have a lot to prove. Obviously, Teo fell from grace in the lightweight division. He's come up a division. They're both big trash talkers. Where at an opponent, I was involved in that trash talk program. Teo saying he's going to kill him. I mean, Josh Taylor doesn't like Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez has a kind of arrogance about him that generates dislike in his opponents. But I think that makes for a cauldron of heat. We're here in New York. We've got this smoke cloud. You can hear the sirens, of course. Got this smoke cloud coming over from Canada. It just feels like hubble bubble toil and trouble week. They get together tomorrow. I've been with Josh Taylor already this week. Hank hasn't surfaced yet, this alter ego of his where he flips the switch. He looks good non-weight. He's probably got about 6-7 pounds to lose through fight week, so he looks on course for a fantastic fight. The styles make this fight.
What do you make of the things that have been said in the build-up? Obviously, we've seen Josh Taylor get riled up before, but the comments from Teofimo Lopez, even away from this fight week, they've been a bit wild, and he's referenced killing Josh in a ring, and we know things get said fight week, and some people say, look, it's if they're not going in there for ballet, it's that, but nobody ultimately wants to see anyone die in a ring. Do you think it's gone too far with them comments?
Fighters say weird things in the build-up to a fight. Deontay Wilder said in the past that he won an opponent in a body bag, if you recall. And yet, you sit with him or you interview him, and it's just an alter ego that these guys have. I think it's part of Teofimo's alter ego, and it's him preparing himself for battle, preparing himself for oblivion. And I think when people talk about wanting to kill their opponent, I think it's a fear surfacing in themselves about what might happen to them as well. Got to be careful not to be fined saying it here under the New York Commission. We know what happened to Devin Haney when he just pushed Lomachenko at the weigh-in, recall. $400,000?
$400,000 fine. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of money just to lose for a simple thing.
And also it keeps the presence of the sport as a sport, that there are standards and there are lines to be drawn. He says he won't take it back. Josh isn't bothered about it. He said, I asked Josh yesterday in an interview for Top Rank, does it annoy you that he won't retract that comment? He said, I don't care at all. He said, I'm going to put him into retirement and I'm going to stop him on the night.
Are we seeing the Josh Taylor, I don't want to say of old because it's only a couple of fights back, but the build-up to the Jack Catterall fight, there wasn't some, and this is not taking anything away from Jack's promise, he was wonderful on the night, brilliant performance, and a lot of people thought he won the fight, but Josh this week, we've seen him smiling, we've seen him having fun, he's with his new trainer, Joe McNally, the things he's doing in the gym. Teofimo off the last fight as well, you see him at the end of the fight, and I know he said it was because cameras were on, but he's asking questions like, do I still got it? Do you think this fight is won, not just for the physical side, but this fight is massively mental going into this, because they both have demons to sort out from previous fights?
I think Josh Taylor's physical performance last time, mentally I think he was very strong in that fight with Jack Catterall because he kept at it. He was having problems, wasn't he? Jack's timing was brilliant in the fight, but he kept at it and he kept at it and he kept at it, and whether people disagree or not with the judges' scorecards, he got the fight. He's still undefeated. Was he 20-0? 13 knockouts. He's a brilliant fighter, there's no doubt about it. The best Scotland have produced since Ken Buchanan, in my view. The late, great Ken Buchanan, RIP, who obviously was an inspirational figure for Josh. If I was to pick a guy who could be broken during the fight, it would be Teo, or even in fight week, because I do think he's got demons. Josh has got demons about his last performance. He didn't take Jack Catterall seriously enough. He didn't prepare well enough for him. That's what he's told me this week. Got a wake-up call in that fight. If he's going to stay at elite level... Listen, I want to underline this by saying either man could win this fight. It's a 50-50 pick'em for me.
Great fight.
It's a great fight. Styles make fights. Teo is come forward, bullish, likes to throw his hands, got a lot of power. He could knock Josh out if he lands with the right punch. I don't doubt that. Josh has got power as well. Think back to Josh's fights with Regis Prograis and those guys in the World Boxing Super Series. Brilliant performance against Jose Benavidez, who hadn't been troubled up to that point in that fight in Las Vegas in lockdown. I think Josh is very, very mentally strong. Where he's struggled in the past is making this weight. He's so tall, he's 6 foot tall. He's a 6 foot tall super lightweight or light welterweight. I think he's mentally tough. He's notching off another legacy event and fight here. Teo's a brilliant opponent. It'll build during the week, especially when they go head to head. Can't wait for that. And I just think he's ticked off Vegas. He's ticking off Madison Square Garden Theatre. And I think he's really up for it. He feels strong. He feels good.
I think this is a cracking fight, just for boxing in general. I think we're starting to see now the best fight, the best, and fighters taking risks. And this is another one where a lot to gain and a lot to lose, and I hope whatever happens that the loser will be obviously allowed to rebuild, and whatever happens. Let's talk about Tyson Fury. Maurizio Sulliman's come out and said, look, Tyson's not at fault here for these fights not getting made. He says fighters have priced themselves out. He's named Andy Ruiz and other fighters. What do you make of those comments? And he's also alluded to the fact that depending on what fights get finalised, that we could see Anthony Joshua made as mandatory for Tyson's WBC belt. What do you make of this whole scenario, which is ever changing, and a lot of it's depending on this December plan from Skill Challenge and Saudis?
Yeah, well, obviously, the trouble is we're working backwards with it all. They all want the money from Saudi Arabia. They want the undisputed fight, Fury and Usyk. Wilder and Joshua are obviously being made offers as well in Saudi Arabia. I do not understand the Joshua-Wilder fight myself for Joshua. I think it's a strange choice. I think he should be looking for a Fury fight, frankly. It's a bigger fight, more money, and I think Wilder's almost a more dangerous fight for him in lots of ways because of the punch power of Wilder and what he can do to people. And he just needs that one opportunity. Because you can't completely write Anthony Joshua off against Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury... people knock me because they think I'm a Tyson Fury fanboy, but in my view, I think it has been hard, and I've spoken to the Warrens behind the scenes. It has been hard to find the right opponent. They say that Andy Ruiz wanted $19 million to fight Fury. But Andy Ruiz's team have been in touch with me and said, I've reported that from their quotes, and Andy Ruiz's team have reported to me through messages saying, we haven't spoken numbers. So someone's playing with the truth, but it's this whole chess game. Fury needs a summer fight, Joshua needs a summer fight. That's who we're interested in from our side of the pond. And I think, is Joshua going to fight Dillian Whyte? Yeah, probably. But who else is he going to fight if he doesn't? Will he take the mandatory if he's made mandatory? I hope so, but I'm not sure he will even.
You're saying not sure he will, but everyone's been calling for it for so long, and I know they're saying, look, we sent a specific offer, terms were the same to Matchroom, and they said, look, Joshua's team have said they're not going to go down that route. It looks like Dillian Whyte, but surely if the Fury fight is a possibility, that would need to be explored. I know that we've gone down the road that many times, it almost becomes a bit like, here we go again. But if there is an opportunity to make Fury Joshua, surely that's something that needs to be explored on that route.
It would be amazing. If we have that on September the 2nd, when they're looking to get Fury out next, it would be amazing. But Deontay Wilder is the number one challenger, by the way. So what's he doing? Waiting to get his fight in Saudi Arabia? Who's he fighting, by the way? If it's not Joshua, who's he fighting? Is it Andy Ruiz? Is it going to be Wilder Ruiz? That's the fight that Sulliman had ordered to create the mandatory challenger, if you recall. But for some reason, they haven't made the fight. Taken sideways because Wilder was waiting for the Saudi money. George Warren said this to me. It's the perfect way to put it. The Saudi money has been a blessing and a curse. A curse because it's stalled the whole chess game in the heavyweight division, and a blessing because those guys can earn money there that they will never earn anywhere else. You know, I'm told $150 million purse for Fury and Usyk, you know, and maybe close to $80 million purse, $90 million purse being discussed for Wilder and Joshua.
Could we not look at a scenario, and I know we're slowly running out of time here, I know mandatories have been called, but we've got Dubois who's fighting Usyk, haven't we, currently? So
August the 26th, Poland.
In Poland, and I've seen the stadium looks going to be incredible.
Are we going to be there?
I mean, I hope so.
We're going to be there.
We are. Could we not see a scenario where Fury Joshua, say that gets made, and we say the winner of that fight, Dubois and Usyk, goes and fights Deontay Wilder in Saudi, and then the winner fights the winner of Joshua and thingy to make
it next year then, though, doesn't it?
It does, but like, you know, in terms of keeping people waiting.
So who's Fury going to fight in the meantime? That's the big issue in the heavyweight division right now. Usyk is willing to fight. Listen, I want to make this clear. The April 29th fight at Wembley did not suit either Usyk or Fury. Yeah? Both sides didn't want that fight because they're waiting for this summit, if you like, in Saudi Arabia. And that's where the big money's gone. Usyk, though, signing with Skills Challenge, the Saudi Arabian promoters, for me, hopefully makes it more likely that he will face Fury. And he'll face Wilder. And maybe he'll face, I don't know, Zhang. Maybe he'll face all of them. Usyk, I think, is easy to deal with, but just believe what's going on behind the scenes is not one person's fault. It's the whole picture. It will all become, at the moment, the heavyweight division is very frustrating, but within a few weeks, it will all become clear what's going to happen. They've all got decisions to make. At the moment, it's very, very difficult to see exactly what is going to happen, and I don't think people have made up their minds yet.
I don't, but hopefully we come to a conclusion where everyone's happy and we see these fights get made. Look, Gareth, I know you've got a little bit of a show coming up on our channel, Boxing Social Fight Club. I believe every Tuesday coming up. Just quickly, let's sign off on that. How excited are you about doing a little bit of something different on our channel and, you know, providing some more content? Yeah,
and I'm expecting you to send me your clip of the week, whoever you're interviewing, on a little selfie video, and please, if you will, funny moment. I'm going to get you to ask a question of them every week, and I'm going to get some questions out on you. No, it's a pleasure to be joining you. You know, it's a brilliant channel. It's great to be given the opportunity to do a show. It's a little bit like, it's a bit more of it's like an after-hours show, if you like, Crushed Velvets. Rock up on my motorbike, record every week for an hour or two, and yeah, very excited about it. Hopefully, it will be a show that people really enjoy.
I'm sure they will. Look, Gareth, I appreciate your time as always. We'll catch up later on in the week. Absolutely. Let's enjoy what's going to be a good fight week. Appreciate your time.